What's going on, y'all? Maxwell here, and today we're going to be covering everything wrong with Modern Warfare 2 in 5 minutes or less. We're not even 2 months of this game's life cycle, and already I'm seeing a ton of red flags. But red's one of my favorite colors, so what's up? Admittedly, this installment in the COD franchise has had arguably the most potential since Black Ops 3, and while I believe they did some really great things, I can't help but feel like they dropped the ball harder than I was dropped as a baby. See, the developers tried to tug at our nostalgic heartstrings by naming this game after the 2009 fan favorite Modern Warfare 2. Only it's nothing like it, aside from the arcade-style shooting, and that the entire player base has apparently fucked my mom. You'd think after 3 years of development and a solid starting template with Modern Warfare 2019's engine, that this game would be polished and ready to rumble on launch. But that's where this shit show begins. Modern Warfare 2 was released on October 28th, 2022, with record sales, but my initial excitement for the game was immediately diminished, as I came to the realization, it's not even finished. While they may have added some cool new game types, for those of us that had completed the campaign early, we were stuck with the choice of either 66 multiplayer on only 10 maps, or Invasion, the bot-infested ground war mode. No 10v10 or 32v32 playlists, no Warzone 2.0, no DMZ, and what seems like the easiest of all to incorporate, no hardcore mode. Sure, some of these have since been added, but Treyarch developed Cold War in just a year, and while some gun attachments and maps were copy and paste, they had a full list of variety modes at launch, including zombies modes and fireteam. That, coupled with all the bugs and the lack of maps, has inspired me to dub this game Modern Warfare 2 Extended Beta. I'd honestly rather have a delayed release to polish the project, kind of like I did with this video. Maybe if they would have spent more of the 3-year development cycle on game modes instead of completely reworking the UI system, they could have really kept the hype up. Speaking of, this is hands down the most confusing UI in the history of COD, maybe ever. I understand trying to be innovative and appreciate the vast amount of options for customization and optimization that seemingly don't work, but this is not the move. In hindsight, they must have known that because of the incorporation of the search bar and the menus. This confusion transfers seamlessly into the Friends tab, where even if I had any, I'd struggle to figure out how to play with them. Even when you do crack that code, unless you're all in Discord, good luck navigating the chat channels, random disconnects, and microphone mutes.
But wait, there's more.
I can't tell if I'm more impressed or intimidated by the gunsmith.
Check this out.
Holy shit. Connecting the dots of leveling up one gun to unlock another in a different category, which unlocks a challenge for an attachment, to finally get the camo you want, is enough to make you go insane. By the time you figure it all out, the game had you feeling like Charlie Day and It's Always Sunny during the Pepe Sylvia conspiracy.
This is a goddamn ghost town.
It's crazy that in 3 years, the devs didn't get legal permission to model some of the maps based on actual locations, forcing them to cut Valderas Museum out of the game completely, on top of the looming threat of having to take out a few others. Aside from that, I don't have many complaints about the maps, but I do dislike certain parts, mainly for personal reasons. Zarqua Hydroelectric is actually a great map if you take the water out of the equation. It does allow for different avenues to flank and make plays, but being underwater in-game does give me PTSD. Back to when I fell off my pool noodle at the age of 4 in the shallow end. But unlike that situation, when I almost drowned in-game, I don't get a frozen high sea orange like I did when I was a kid. I'm also convinced that Santa Senior Border Crossing was inspired by Disney Pixar's Cars. This one might be a really hot take, but I actually like Turok aside from the dull color palette. However, due to the poor optimization as discussed earlier, this map stutters more than a prepubescent version of myself trying to talk to a girl for the first time. For the most part, the spawns are meh. I'm glad it isn't like Modern Warfare 2019 though, where you die and spawn in safety on the complete opposite side of the map, turning that multiplayer experience into running simulator. But I'm also not sure that spawning in the enemy's line of sight is necessarily a good thing either. Other than that, and the fact that the rotation keeps you playing the same 3 maps all night, my only real complaint is that we got 2 reskinned maps with the Season 1 update. Cheers to another year of disregarding multiplayer, am I right? This brings us to the actual gameplay. We're given small glimmers of hope sprinkled with genuine enjoyment, only to have the rug pulled out from under us time and time again, in the form of bugs, glitches, unwarranted shadow bans, and incredibly strict skill-based matchmaking. But instead of addressing these issues, Infinity Ward and Activision are trying to tug us off under the table with more microtransactions. Fuck you, Activision, I invented jerking off. Aside from the annoying God mode glitch that you could get from the VTOL and Riot Shield combo, they patched most of the things that made us excited to play in the first place. Slide canceling was viable in the beta, but has since been removed. The crazy Ironside sniper glitch, gone, and they put a very quick stop to the bipod launch. Probably the coolest glitch we've had since COD 4 unrendered surface bounces. And while I don't think that not having a slide cancel is the end of the world, the current slide mechanic does feel pretty clunky and virtually useless, making the dolphin dive the king of movement, or whatever the fuck is going on over here. In all fairness, there's a lot that I do like about this game, but when I said I liked it rough, I didn't mean every match that I play. SBMM is cranked up to the max, and I almost need to power wash my chair after an hour of gameplay just trying to compete. I've never played a game where the enemy team is so afraid to challenge, probably due to the extremely quick time to kill. Maybe I play too aggressive, maybe I'm complete cheeks, but I constantly run into players stuck aim down sights holding angles, spraying through doorways that you might be coming through, sitting in the most atrocious camping spots, mounted up in random corners of the map, or playing like this fucking guy. If the enemy team does actually challenge you, they have to double flash, forcing you to meet God, throw a Semtex, a handful of loose chains, and some pocket lint, and then finally make their push. They're heavy on the trigger finger, jump challenge every corner, or drop shot you into oblivion. The best part is, if you're playing solo, your teammates are almost no help. It's almost like the game puts you with 5 people that don't understand more than 1 button on their controller at a time, but puts you up against 5 optic scumpies and a scumbag with a rocket launcher. Quite frankly, it has me questioning if I'm even a good player, or if I ever was. I could go on to talk about how Warzone 2 plays slow, and is carried by proxy chat, how DMZ is the Fisher-Price version of Tarkov, or that they're apparently incorporating a Rocket League style mode, but in all honesty, I've about fucking had it.